There are three major gold conspiracies. Conspiracy number 1. The US government's gold reserves don't exist. During World War I and II, America acquired gold from countries buying military supplies. The US dollar then became the world reserve currency, backed by gold reserves. Until the break from the gold standard in 1971, most countries of the world trusted that the United States had the gold to back their currency. But the last actual audit of gold occurred in 1953, when no outside experts were permitted and only 5% of the gold was tested. France was one country that did not trust the US dollar was truly backed by gold, especially after the massive spending for the war in Vietnam. That's why they started to redeem their dollars for gold. In 1946, the US had 2/3 of the world's gold supply, but from 1959 to 1971, it lost 50% of the gold supply. At this point, the government reported reserves were around 8,000 metric tons, where they still officially sit. However, in 2012, when Germany asked for the return of 300 tons of its gold stored in the United States, after a year, only 5 tons were given back, with 30 to 50 tons expected for by the end of 2014. This looks to miss their 2020 schedule by a long shot. This was after the US refused to let Germans come view their gold at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Counterfeit gold bars have been found in the US and Europe, and some claims that even bars tested in China were found to have tungsten cores that originated from Fort Knox. Central banks use gold swaps and leases that are believed to trade gold that doesn't exist or that is owned by multiple entities at the same time. This leads us to conspiracy number 2. The world gold price is being manipulated downward. Former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan said the US would lease gold to keep down the price. Central bankers have stated keeping the gold price down as a goal. For most gold investors, the manipulation of the price of precious metals is obvious. Almost everyone who buys physical gold and silver believes that big banks and governments have a vested interest in keeping prices down to support their fiat currencies. This manipulation hides true inflation that would historically express itself in the gold price. Manipulation is done by rigging the market with massive amounts of paper gold that doesn't exist, throwing true supply and demand out of balance. At a CFTC hearing in 2010, it was confirmed that paper contracts traded on the London bullion market represent 100 times or more than the amount of the underlying physical asset available. In recent years, a number of nations have been scrambling to repatriate their gold holdings that were stored in other nations. Germany, the Netherlands, Finland, Venezuela, and others have all started repatriating gold in the last 5 years. Furthermore, Eastern countries like Russia, China, and India have been buying gold in record amounts. Could they be doing this because the gold price is suppressed? Industrial metals like silver could see a spike from a supply shortage if the price is really manipulated downward the same way as gold, which it appears it is. It is hard for prices to remain under market value with record-breaking physical deliveries to countries. But why are countries buying a record amount of gold? Conspiracy number 3. China plans to establish a gold-backed currency. China could use a new gold standard to supplant the dollar and United States' power in the world. The US had the world's largest economy since 1872. It had a gold standard until 1971. China has already reached par with the largest economy. Many countries are worried about another financial crisis, so it makes sense they'd be open to a sound money global monetary system. The fact that China and similar nations have been steadily increasing their gold holdings, some even believing they've been secretly importing more gold than is officially announced, gives some evidences to this possibility. China is leading a group of emerging countries called the BRICS to start a new development bank to rival the IMF. Their arrangement with fellow nations Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa have begun annual meetings just a few years ago. Having witnessed and being a victim to the 2008 financial collapse caused by the American world hegemony, the newest superpower is surely striving to work out a new system not subject to US influence and risk. In the last 5 years, China has greatly ramped up its increase of gold reserves. The country is the world's largest producer, yet it retains all the gold it produces, making it also the world's largest gold consumer. They are also the largest gold importer by many estimates. No matter their intentions, China owning a massive gold holding hedges against a future where the dollar loses its value. All three of these conspiracies can definitely be tied together. For more information and a free gold report, visit futuremoneytrends.com/gold. You can also subscribe to our newsletter and weekly wealth digest for free. For reasons on why gold can soar, watch our recent video.